What's up, everybody? Welcome to the FPS Guides channel, where here we talk about all the latest video games releasing and our impressions of them. And today, actually, we're going to talk about the hot topic. This game came out on Friday, September 4th, and a lot of people have been playing it over the weekend. This game is Marvel's Avengers, a game that I've been looking forward to until I played it. So, here with me to discuss the game and to kind of be like the audience voice here in this video is Mr. Steven over there, aka Parfex. How you doing, Steven?
I'm doing well. So I have not played the game, so I'm going to be asking questions as if anyone reviewing this game will be curious about whether they should get it, what do we like, what do we look for, and things like that. Do you have any things you want to start with, Eric?
Well, I just wanted to tell people that who are viewing this, actually, we got a big screen up here. Me and Steven are on like little miniature screens, and on the big screen is just my gameplay. This is a mix of Iron Man, Hulk, Kamala Khan, or Miss Marvel, Black Widow, and there's another character, but I didn't want to put that one into the video because it's a spoiler, so I did not want to do that.
Okay, so no spoilers, no spoilers.
Right. Strokes, top to bottom, like pretty general impressions, and then I'll go into like kind of more mission design and level design, and then...
Is that your ult right there? Did you do an ultimate?
Oh, so, yeah. This game is kind of based on powers, so I guess it's a good place to start is combat, actually. So combat is the cornerstone of this game, and disappointingly is not great. I would even go far as to say not good. It's okay.
Oh, wow.
It's okay. Now,
okay.
I want to justify that by saying the speed of combat is slow. The characters are slow, the movement is slow, hitting things is slow. It feels like you're wading in waist-high water, kind of. Like it's like you're just kind of struggling along trying to get through the water. Like it's not smooth. And when you have a looter game like this absolutely is, that's part of the gameplay is, take on missions, make the missions harder, get better loot, rinse and repeat. Same thing as Destiny, basically. It's basically Marvel's Destiny. If you're watching the first minute to 2 minutes of this video, Marvel's Destiny. There you go. That's
Marvel's Destiny.
That's the main kind of objective of this game. That's kind of
so
what
you're
it's going
playing
for.
Hulk now. I see the green bar is building up. Is that like a gamma radiation bar or something?
Well, each character has their own version of that bar. So yes, for Hulk it would be, or his rage meter, I guess if you want to call it, right, which is pretty standard for Hulk. So underneath your health bar, you'll have this like, I don't want to say power bar. They call it like an intrinsic hero bar, whatever fancy word they have for it. Basically,
are you stuck there? Did you just get stuck in the wall?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
so
basically,
the combat you're talking about.
Yeah, and part of the traversal as well is, man, it's just slow and clunky. It's like if you look in the video, like I'll be running as Hulk in a second, and it's just like it feels like I'm going like 2 miles an hour. Like it feels very slow, very clunky. But
just hurling boulders at people.
But what I was saying earlier was like, yeah, so each character kind of plays. They each play differently enough to where it's noticeable, which is nice because you got 5-6 iconic heroes and 15-16 more coming out down the line. So
wow.
They
Do you
better.
Have to pay for those, or are they free?
No, all the heroes are free. However, I will tell you that the cosmetics for those heroes that are added are not free. You have to.
So you pay for skins?
Yes, it's part of a battle pass system like Fortnite, which I'll kind of jump into a little bit later when we get to that kind of section, I guess.
What skins do you have for Hulk? Isn't he?
I didn't buy any skins. I didn't buy any skins.
No, I'm
I didn't
asking in general.
Oh, there's like a suit. There's like a pinstripe suit that looks cool. There's like some classic ones that Marvel comic fans will definitely recognize. So that's kind of cool if you're like really big into Marvel. In that sense, like you grew up with the comics or read the comics a bunch. So that's cool. And that's kind of where this game shines, is playing with your friends, because, man, you got to play with your friends to kind of curb the repetitive combat loop that you're in. Or listen to a podcast, maybe the FPS Guides podcast that is on at 7 p.m. Fridays on Twitch.
Wait, are you saying the game is not entertaining enough? You actually need to pull up a podcast while you're playing it?
I did do that multiple times. I listened to like Game Informer, MinMax2N. Shout out to them. They're cool. Kind of funny what's good.
Wow.
But like, yeah, I've definitely listened to some podcasts playing this game, which already tells you how good the story is, because It's very generic story. I bet you can guess the story, actually. What do you think happens in the story, Steven? It's an Avengers
Oh,
game.
big menace. They get together. Someone is in trouble. Tony Stark probably has some issues wanting to join, but comes through in the end.
You're close
Saves
enough.
the world
You're
against the
close
big
enough.
bad guy.
You're close enough. It's fine. But like, it's basically that, except for Kamala Khan, who debuted, I think, in 2013, if I want to say that correctly. She's Miss Marvel. She's
hmm
basically like Elastigirl, kind of like Mr.
Okay.
Fantastic, but a girl. So that's how it begins. You play as her, and she's like a super huge Avengers fangirl. Like, oh my god, the Avengers are awesome. Like, I'm gonna write all this fan fiction, and that's how she meets them. She wins a fan fiction contest, which is cool, and meets the
Okay.
Avengers, and then X, Y, and Z happens in the tutorial, which is where you get to play as all of them, kind of get that different play style
hmm
feeling. And then basically there's like a gas explosion. I'm being super vague here because I don't want to I want you to experience the story for yourself, everyone that's listening or watching. So there's a gas
Right. Well, this is just the
explosion.
tutorial you're covering, right? This isn't any real spoilers.
No, no, no. Just a tutorial. So like yeah, there's a gas explosion and then all these normal people get powers and they become inhumans and then people in society fear inhumans because they're different, which is classic. And then Kamala Khan, who is one of these inhumans, that's how she gets her stretchy powers basically, is just like if I bring the Avengers together, we can solve this whole problem. And that's kind of like your main goal as Kamala Khan is to kind of reassemble the Avengers together when they scatter after this event that happens that you'll play in the
And
tutorial pretty
this is
much.
who's on screen, right?
Yeah,
This is who we're watching right now.
that's Kamala Khan. Yeah, Miss Marvel. She got super stretchy
Okay.
limbs and stuff. But again, it aids to the factor that she feels very slow because her animations have to be a long time because of her stretchy ability. So it kind of aids
Couldn't they
that
just
fact
speed up
that
the animations?
yeah, they could do that, but I guess they didn't. I'm not a game developer. I'm not going to tell them how to make their game. So
Sure.
whatever
But
they thought was right. But that's the general story of it. And touching on combat a little bit, like I did earlier, like they do feel different, but the combos that you pull off that you learn in the skill tree are pretty generic. It's like dash forward and hit square, and you can do a running attack. It's like, all right, cool. Like I get it. Like I get that this is a basic skill tree here, but there are specialty skill trees where you can invest more points into more specialized skills, or your power meter that governs like how much of your heroic or special abilities you can do. If you're watching the video, you can see them on the bottom right of my gameplay.
I'm watching you play and like seeing the Hulk and seeing her. Oh, well, that was a cool counter. But like beyond that, it seems like you're just swinging punches. It doesn't really matter like who you're playing as. Is there any uniqueness to the characters?
They have different finishing moves, which is fine, I guess. There's only like two or three per character, I think, and the rest
What's a
are.
finishing move? What's the rest of the combat like to get them to a finishing move?
It's just like square, 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 triangle, square, 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 triangle, 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 like
Hmm.
stuff like that. So
Is there timing involved? Is it challenging or is it just button
no, there's
mashing?
not really. There's no timing. It's not like when your attack is at this point in the attack, you can hit square to do a follow up. It's not like that. It's not like Neo or anything
Uh,
like that. It's just like hit square three times and you'll do a combo. So it's a little
okay.
shallow. That's what I think is that it's shallow. There's not a lot of skill involved, which is disappointing to me. But again, this game is Marvel's Avengers. It's going to cater to a lot of different age groups, a lot of different people. So they probably made that
Yes.
decision to kind of
So
streamline
the kids can
everything.
play. Yeah.
hmm
Okay, so here's Black Widow.
Right. So Black Widow is much faster, which is great. Her and Captain America are
hmm
my two favorite characters to play as by far because they're faster, because they
Gotcha.
feel like they can move and get to place. So
Her combos look a little better.
yeah, the sense of impact though for every character just isn't there. Like when you're Hulk and you hit something, it should be like, yeah, I freaking did like a
Demolish
freaking
them.
yeah, like I did a hold R2 heavy attack hit, like pretty much. Like that's what I
Yeah,
did,
they
but
should be in pieces.
it doesn't feel good really for any of the characters. Captain America feels the best, I'd say, but not
Mm.
great. And that's another complaint I have is that if I'm power level 5 as Hulk and Black Widow's power level 5, we do the same damage, and I'm Hulk and you're a human woman. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're a human. It doesn't even matter if what you are. You're a human. Like, it shouldn't scale like that. I'm sure they had to do stuff with, oh, we got to balance it properly and make sure that not everyone wants to play this one character because they do that much more damage. So I guess I get that, but do something else to
Yeah,
make him
but
better.
you balance it by making your fast characters have DPS because they do so many consecutive hits, where your slow power characters only need one or two, like Ganondorf and Smash versus maybe Inkling. Like, that's how you
Hmm.
balance it.
That's true, but that's what makes me concerned about these next characters that are coming out. Like Hawkeye is going to be the first DLC character, one that you don't have to pay for. I should say post-launch character. That's a little bit clearer. So
Hmm.
how is he going to feel like that much better or different? And then, man, who else got announced too?
Spider-Man, I
Spider-Man did
believe.
get announced, but he's PlayStation only because Sony has those
Oh,
movie
okay,
rights, not the
yeah,
game rights, the movie rights. Make that clear.
okay.
But oh man, there's another character that was just announced that I wasn't sure. Oh, Kate Bishop. She's basically Hawkeye's like Hawkeye girl form, like girl Hawkeye. Like how are they going to be different?
Okay.
Like how are they supposed to be different? Like
Ah,
this makes me nervous that they're going to clone characters like Smash. They make Echo Fighters or Echo characters.
well,
So that
not gonna
scares
lie,
me.
the combat looks very the same. Like, you just slap a different skin on the same circle, circle, square, square, or whatever you're pressing.
Yeah, I mean the skills I guess help out, but there's not enough differentiating skills to me to make each character really stand apart. Like, because they'll basically have the same moves. Everyone's got to hit square 4 times, triangle at the end combo. Like, okay, fine. But maybe have other more unique skills that are only tied to that character would, I think, help a lot in this game.
I think if each character had their own combo settings, like maybe the Hulk really is just square square because he's big and powerful, where other characters like Black Widow, you might have to do like circle square, triangle X, and do different combos because she is a combo character.
True, and if you're watching the video now, there's actually some puzzles that you can do, but all the puzzles boil down to the same thing. Stand on this pad, um, hit the two shiny objects that appear when you stand on the pad. Like, cool, okay. Like,
Okay, so they're not very
hit
difficult.
the shiny objects in time so that they all light up at the same time. Stuff like that. Like, it's pretty repetitive, which yes, Marvel's the repetitive Avengers. That's what this game should be called. It's because you play a lot of Destiny, right, Steven? So you're no
Yeah,
stranger to the grind and the repetitiveness, and that's what it
dude,
is.
I played Destiny until I couldn't anymore. That game was long. It was fun at the time, but when they came out with Destiny 2, it just felt so much the same. But we're reviewing this, so I'm just trying to see, like, oh, maybe there's some loot or anything. But at least Destiny had, like, when you got a piece of armor, it would make your outfit look different. Like, you could get shaders to change the colors, but you might have blades on your arm or something like that, and it just, I don't
That's
know
that's
how are
not
the you're not going to get that here.
no, not at all. So basically, how customization and gear works is it's similar to Destiny. You have a light level, right, and then you have an overall level, which is like kind of separates your
Hmm.
gear level, I guess, if you want to call it that. So in this game, it's the same. You have your hero level, which is like your overall character level, and then you have your power level, which is determined by the amount of gear you have on and what those stats are, which is fine because
Gotcha.
it's a looter. That's what looters do. However,
Right.
what this game fails at is making you look cool, which is bad because you're an Avenger. You should look like a badass. You should look like, yo, I'm going in and I'm going to take out a whole squad of people today. Like, there's no one's going to stop me. That's not how it is here. Basically, how it works is you get gear, and the gear appearance does not matter. So what matters is the outfit or costume that you buy with real money, earn through game, or grind the battle pass for, which we'll get to later.
So your skins are really the only thing that matters.
Yes, the skins are what matters. The gear could look cool, like in the inventory menu, but it just doesn't show up on your character, which dissuades me
Hmm.
from getting gear, in my opinion, because there's like chests and stuff around. It's like as you're flying through or running around, Jarvis will be like, "Hey, there's a chest with resources near you." It's like, "Oh, okay, let me go check that out." You get gear, and then you look at it, and you're like, "Okay, like it doesn't. This isn't exciting because I can't see it on my character."
Well, you just
So
found a treasure room right here, right? Like, that's what we're looking at with Thor. There's a bunch of treasure boxes
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. How I got in there is how you get into every treasure room, pretty much. Like
Did you
there's
skip that treasure chest on purpose?
I probably just wasn't interested because, again, like I'm saying, it's just not. I don't
Oh
really
my
have any
gosh. Yeah.
enticing factor to be like, oh, this gear's gonna look sick on my character. Cool. Like it's just like okay, the numbers went up and the passive and active. There's no. I don't think there's really any active effects either. It's all passives. Like oh, do this thing and this type of buff will be active for this time. It's like okay, like that's not that exciting to me. Like I feel like the loot really needs an overhaul to make it more enticing, to really, really make each playstyle different.
Well, let's step back from cosmetics. If it's a looter, that means that when you pick something up, it's got to have a bunch of different effects. Like you can't just have this one be armor +4 and then this one's armor +5. The armor's got to do something, right? Like there's got to be some cool
Yeah,
things for it to be a looter.
you'll have like say like you have two pieces of armor, right? Two like gauntlets or whatever. So
Hmm.
one gauntlet will be like does five or like it's like gives you five defense or whatever. Then if you get a more rare piece, it'll be like five defense plus shock resistance, like 3.2 shock resistance or something like that. And then as the rare equipment you go, you can unlock more like perks, I guess, for that armor.
How's flying with Thor? That looks
Terrible,
like
awful.
it's terrible,
It's
awful.
not
Okay.
good. It really feels slow. Like I'm flying right now. I feel like I'm like walking in air. Like I'm not moving. The sense of like momentum and locomotion just isn't really there, which hurts traveling and traversal because the environments they drop you in are big, but they're empty.
Hmm.
It's just like okay, there's like five chests in this whole thing. There's no wildlife running around. There's no NPCs. The only NPCs you find is just like help. I need assistance and because I'm getting my ass kicked over here. It's like okay, cool. Like they don't the NPCs when you save them they don't say anything. They just get teleported back. It's like it's just really. I just really feel like if maybe they said something or they gave you a hint about another mission that's somewhere on the map that you wouldn't have found if you passed by this
Didn't play
person,
them.
like
Yeah.
it would have really added to the world because it just feels so empty. It just feels like just a sandbox. It's like run around in a big environment, fight the same enemies. There's like not a lot of enemy types too, which is not great. And just find it's always like find a hostage or someone that needs help, get a chest through finding like a bunker, get a chest through solving a puzzle, and then find the main building you're supposed to go to with your final objective. Go down an elevator, go down a hallway, fight waves of enemies or a boss. Every time.
Sounds very repetitive.
Every mission is like that.
Well, let's try and bring some light into this thing. What was your favorite thing about it? What are some good things about the game that really kept you playing? Because you said you beat the game, right?
I did beat the game. I rolled credits on the campaign, which, in
Okay.
itself is a whole subject of its own. So
All right.
I did like some of the characters. Like I said, Black Widow and Captain America are cool. Some of the action sequences are cool. Like if you're playing as, it doesn't really even matter who you're playing as. Maybe Thor, Iron Man. You'll be attacking a bunch of enemies, and then maybe you'll see like a turret, and then you'll see like a rock from off screen come in, destroy it. That's Hulk, like throwing a rock to destroy it to cover you. Like there's some cool interactions like that, and there's some
Okay.
cool like team. Not there's some team attacks you can do if you see that your companion is like doing a finisher move, and then you have time. You can kind of join them in that finisher move, so that's kind of cool. But that's really aids to the fact of having friends to play with and not because I played solo,
Right.
like with AI companions and they're dumb as hell, so none of that really gets you know held up when you play by yourself rather than
Right,
playing with
right. You're not
friends.
going to get those amazing combos
Right,
going.
right.
So, what about one of the things I used to love about the Avengers movie is like yes, the combat's cool and the characters are cool and they all look awesome, but they had humor, they had a personality to it. Like playing the game was the just in general dialogue funny? Was it entertaining?
No,
Did you
no, the dialogue wasn't
Oh
very
my
funny.
god.
They have some funny one-liners occasionally, but there's not a lot to choose from. I feel like the pool of one-liners they have isn't large, so you will hear a lot of repeated lines, or you will hear maybe Stark and Thor like bantering about the same thing in one mission, then the same thing in another mission. It's like, okay, like
Oh yeah,
this
they set
isn't
these limits to that
super
mission.
great. So there's that. I mean, there's some funny one-liners in there, but I'd say it's rare. I'd say it's rare.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
so
overall, oh, there's one thing I do want to talk about is upgrading
okay.
in this game is kind of confusing. I don't know. Maybe you could shed some light. Maybe it is like Destiny. I don't know. I haven't played Destiny because it's not interesting to me. I guess, but
Okay.
maybe because it's like a slog to get through where everyone is. But basically, you have four types of gear, right? And let's just
Hmm.
call them like A, B, C, and D. These types of
Okay.
gear require their own resource to upgrade. So gear A takes resource A, which is not the same as resource B needed for gear B. So you
Right.
need to
So
grind
they
to
each need their
get,
own resource, and they each have
yeah,
their own separate armor.
yes. So
But I mean, that's common in looters, though.
right.
You
So that's why I wanted to pose that question. It's like, oh, is this seems like a common thing that looter games do to kind of keep you going?
Comparing it to Destiny, you have your money, you had, most of your stuff came from doing the missions or things like that. There wasn't really much upgrading. The upgrading was more through experience. Your guns would grow as you used them,
Oh
so
no, it's not like that.
you'd unlock skill trees in the weapon. So when you get a gun, it might be a purple, and then as you use it, you unlock new features, which made the gun feel different, which I actually really liked because you'd have like a fully automatic rifle and you get a perk through leveling up, and now it can become a battle rifle, and the accuracy is increased and the damage increased, but the rate of fire slows down
Oh
or something
no,
like that.
no, there's nothing like that. It's just like you want 15 to go to 16, spend this amount of resource. It's like, okay, cool. Like,
Oh
all right.
yeah.
Like that's not exciting to me really. It's not enticing enough for me to keep grinding, which is a problem
Yeah.
because there's 15, 16 heroes supposed to be coming out for this thing. So
Well,
it's
what
a big
about other
problem.
looter games? How does this compare to like Borderlands or something? Like that was a really great game. Everybody liked that. Did you play Borderlands at all?
I played a little bit of it, but again, I didn't play enough to really draw a good comparison between these two. I played Neo a lot though, and that's a looter game. Pretty much, it's
Mm-hmm.
the same type of thing. But I think what Neo has and what this game doesn't, and what it could really kind of aid is having like armor sets. So like in Neo, there was like if you have one piece of this armor, you get this. Two pieces, you get this buff. Three pieces, you get this buff. So I think that would have
Yes.
helped out a lot in this game to kind of entice you to mix up your armor and mix up your gear. But again, there's no reason to do that if your gear doesn't look like anything. So,
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe take a page from Monster Hunter where you give the enemies a bunch of like really annoying passives like stun or knockback and stuff, and then you get armor pieces that resist it. So getting different armors is actually worthwhile because you build immunities to certain
I
combat
mean, there is
situations.
armor that's like, oh, this armor, does is this X amount resistance to frost or whatever. And when you're fighting
Yeah,
those enemies,
elemental
you should
damage,
have
but
that.
I'm
But
talking like major noticeability. Like if you there's an enemy that stuns you a lot and you can get stun resistance, that feels different. Like there's enemies in Monster Hunter that would put you to sleep. There's some that could grab you and toss you, and you had armors that let you like get out of that quicker. I mean, there's
no, not
so many
really.
different things. Yeah.
No, there's none of that really. That's what kind of helps the getting tired of the grind very fast. Is like there's not a whole lot of difference here that I'm seeing.
Is there anything that the developers could do, like maybe with a patch update that could like save the game? Is there anything
Well,
that
it's
that
not like
makes
about
it?
saving the game. This game's gonna sell millions of copies. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, this game's great." You play as your different heroes, and you just have fun messing around in the Marvel universe. Like Game Informer gave it an 8.75. There's no way I would give this game that. Not a chance in hell. But that's what they thought. They thought it was good. So that's
Okay.
totally their right.
Yeah, I stopped kind of listening to all Game Informers on that level because some people seem a little biased. Like, if they expect it to be good, they just automatically give it a good rating instead of. But that's my bias. That's not for here. But yeah, so you're saying that it's not as high as they're giving it. And honestly, from what I'm
In
seeing and
my
what you're
opinion,
telling me
no.
about it, this wouldn't keep my interest. Maybe with other people do. Like if you just want something casual, you can play with your friends. It's
Hmm.
not like
Yeah, that's
too
where it shines.
difficult, but not so easy that it's boring. I don't know. I could see that being fun, but if you're doing a grindy game, I mean, I don't want to bring this down, but I feel like there's some phone games that have more in them than this.
Well,
Uh,
it's just like the mission structure kind of really makes it a slog, man. Just like I said with the level design, just go into the same looking building, go into the same looking hallway, go into the same elevator. It's like, oh, dude, like, can you at
man,
least make it red or something? Like, make it different.
I
Which,
really
ugh,
like the Avengers. I really want this to be like a good game, and I'm really like trying to pull teeth here, and be like, come on, man, give me something that makes me
I
want to play
I
this. And
guess like some another good highlight would be that if you're like again, it really caters to like being really into Marvel. So if you're really into Marvel, you're gonna like this game. You're gonna have a good time. It's just I am not the most into Marvel, and I'm more into I guess the I don't want to say the finer aspects because I feel like a like a snob I guess, but the more detailed aspects of the game and why it's good rather than it's Marvel. Because the performance of this game is trash. Like it does not run well. It doesn't look good sometimes. I remember as Captain America, I was on a point. There was like crazy particle effects happening around me. It got blurry, it got slow. I think it was like 15, 20 frames. It was it was bad. I was like, wow, this is noticeably not good. Loading times, dude. Oh my god, so long. Like
wait, how long are we
forever.
talking about? Like a minute, 2 minutes?
Enough time for me to like go get a drink. Um, I don't know, sit back down, drink my drink, and then finally be ready to play. Like, it's a decent amount of time. And the thing that I really don't like is when you have a campaign mission, which isn't a single player mission, by the way. They're all so basically how you choose missions is like you go to this big map, and they're all
Hmm.
just laid out for you. It's kind of like the Tower in Destiny. Choose a mission, go. All right, cool. Traveling to destination. That's
You
how
have
it
your
is.
hub, and then you pick your other
Yes,
places.
yes. So that's how it is. However, if you choose a campaign, so all the missions are multiplayer missions. It's just you can do them offline. That's how they're designed. They're not designed as a single player mission. Rather, they're designed hoping that you have friends to play with basically to accomplish the mission because all of them are control point missions. Defeat waves of enemies.
Is there a way they can put you in with randos if you don't
You
have people to
can do
play
that.
with?
You can be put in with
Okay.
randos, but when they said single players like campaign structure, that tells me that it's a single player mission, not a mission you can do alone. Those are two extremely different things.
Right, right.
So that kind of bums me out. I was hoping for like some Spider-Man level, you know, single player missions here, but I was sorely disappointed because every mission boils down to the same thing, no matter if you're playing it by yourself or with others. Like the mission structure doesn't change depending on if it's supposed to be single player or multiplayer. So that's a downside, a big downside for me.
So I know we're not trying to give this thing a rating. How much would you pay for this game? Like, if knowing what you know now to go back and get it again, would you pay full price for this
No,
game?
I would not pay
Or
full price for this game. I would wait for a sale. I would say like $40 would be like the max
okay,
I would pay for this game.
the max. Okay, so it's at least not a $15
Right
game,
now,
which
no, right now, because there is high production value in it. It's just
mhm.
executed badly, in my opinion. So I would pay like $40 for this, but I think it will get better later. I know Destiny got better later, so a lot of people have pointed that out, and I do realize that. But I am judging this on, you're paying up front for this game right now. So, what are you giving me right now and not promising me for later?
Right, right.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I wanted to mention the battle pass real quick.
Oh, the battle
So
pass.
there's a free tier of battle pass, which fine, sure, whatever. But there's a premium tier of battle pass as well, and that's for each hero. So all 20 heroes are gonna have in this damn game. They'll have each one will have a battle pass, like a premium battle pass. Now the heroes that come in the base game, that's all unlocked already. Cool, fine, no problem. But the heroes like Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, I'm sure, I think She-Hulk is going to get added in there too. They all
Oh
have
yeah.
premium battle passes. So the way to earn currency to get these premium battle pass rewards is to do the challenges in the battle pass. Sure, okay, just how Fortnite does
Hmm.
it. And just like Fortnite, if you do the battle pass, you get your credits. Yeah, you get your credits back, and enough of those credits are going to be used to buy the next one. So once you buy it once and complete it, you can recycle that and keep using it, which is fine. Sure, I agree with that. What I don't agree with is the amount of grind it takes to get these things in the premium battle pass, and the fact that the skins really aren't that great. Like there's like yellow Iron Man, black Iron Man, red Iron Man, blue Iron Man. It's like, all right, like they're just different colors. Like granted, these skins are cheaper. They're like maybe 500 credits, which is $5 by the way. 100 credits is $1, which is already like whoa. But it's just there's no time limit on the battle pass either, so it's not like EA where they push you to do something in a certain amount of time. So that's kind of nice. But man, I played the whole game and multiplayer, and I didn't get I barely got any credits to spend. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, you're telling me I have to go do the multiplayer in itself, which is a separate game mode from the campaign, to get these credits. Like I couldn't do anything in the campaign to get these credits. So when I go into multiplayer, I have something cool to wear. Like, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that.
Well, I mean that happens. Like sometimes the PvP is where all the in-game currency would be.
Well, there is no PvP. It's just PvE. It's like
I know, not sorry. I didn't mean to say PvP. I was thinking my Overwatch stuff. You get more stuff for going in an actual versus thing. Like you can't even get achievements if you're versing computers.
Yeah, but there's no campaign in Overwatch, so.
Right. I was giving a quick example.
But yeah, I think that's definitely a sore point for me. And the last thing I want to touch on that's a sore point is level gating your missions, which I don't like. Basically, I was playing as Black Widow, right? And each hero has their what's known as an iconic mission, which is where you first get introduced to the hero and you do their own mission. Cool. Mm-hmm. There's one mission of those for each hero. That's not enough. That's not enough at all. So when Black Widow's second one came up, I was like, oh, cool. Like, I wonder what I need to do this. And it said hero level 40. And I was like, what? Like,
what level were you?
25. I'm sitting here like, what? Like 15 levels under.
How far into the game were you?
I was done. I would beat the campaign. I beat the campaign. And then a bunch of other missions spawned. And I was like, well, all right, this is endgame. Clearly I understand that. But you're telling me to go grind with this specific hero because if it's their specific mission, Black Widow's mission, you have to use Black Widow. Sure. But you're telling me I have to go grind 15 more levels just to access this mission. It's not like you can go into the mission and you get your ass kicked because you're 15 levels down and maybe if you're good, you can live. No. It's just like, nope, not high enough level, come back later. It's like, oh, dude, like, please don't make me do this. Like, I really don't like that.
Yeah, because even Destiny would let you go into the harder stuff. The problem was that you'd run into enemies that were such a high level that it would not allow you to do damage to them, and that bothered me. It's like, really? I'm shooting them with a gun, but because I'm too low of a level, they're impervious to bullets now?
Yeah, that's realistic. But, yeah, that's kind of my overall impressions of the game. Not a lot of good impressions there. Sorry about that, everybody, but this is my true thoughts, on the game.
Yeah.
It definitely has potential. It's just so repetitive. Like, it's so repetitive. You see the same stuff every time. Fight the same enemies all the time. Like, it's not what I thought it would be. Especially coming off of Spider-Man, dude. Like, I knew it wasn't gonna be as good as Spider-Man. You got one character to mess with. I understand that. One character, one moveset, one world. But man, if you could just give me some more narrative juice or like just more to care about in the game, it would go a long way.
I mean, this is 21st century. Like you're supposed to have diversity in your characters. Smash Bros does that. Any other game that has multiple characters, they're supposed to feel different. They're not supposed to be the same 4 buttons and just a different looking skin with a different finisher. Like, it's supposed to be their own character.
Yeah, and the cooler finishers are also locked behind the battle pass, which you again have to grind to get. So it's like, dude, if the finishers are done, why are you locking them? Put them in the game. Like, put them in the character. So those are my thoughts. Do you have anything to say about that, Steven? Does this help you at all not buy the game?
Yeah, I'm pretty much sold to not get the game, but I don't want to like discourage anyone watching this. I don't want it to be like, oh, we hate the game, don't go out and get it. It's because that's not what this is
No, this
about.
is
This
that's
is
all your
just
choice. It's just straight up information and my honest thoughts on it. That's all I'm here for.
well, thank you for disclosing everything on the game here. It looked promising, but now I'm glad I didn't go out and spend a bunch of money on it and not really want to play it. I've done that before.
Yes, I have also done that before. So that's why I was like, man, I really want to, make an impressions video on it to see, if I can inform people about the game. Really is what my main goal was here, and just like all the other impression videos that we do. This one was Avengers. I did one with DC Smith, also part of our crew, for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster. He was super high on that game. Check that out. Wasteland 3, there's an impressions video on that one too. Did that with Captain Stiffy or John. He's super into that game. Very good reviews, or I shouldn't say reviews. People will get angry. Very good impressions on that. So yeah, we're gonna keep doing these as games comes out. I think the next big one that'll come out is BPM. I don't know if you heard of that. Is bullets per minute. It's basically Doom the musical, is how Skill Up describes it. So you have to do things on the beat. So like shoot on the beat, reload on the beat, dodge on the beat, stuff like that. So
Those are fun games.
yeah,
The combat guitar heroes.
yeah, the rhythm shoot. It's a rhythm shooter, so I'm pretty excited
Rhythm shooter.
to get my hands on that one. So yeah, that
All right,
pretty
well,
much
make sure
wraps
to
up the video.
yeah, make sure to check us out on fpsguides.com. Check us out on the Facebook, Twitter, all those. Anything else you want to throw in at the end of the video, Eric?
Just check out our podcast. It's 7 p.m. Fridays. I gotta remember that because we
Fridays,
used to do it at
yes.
11 a.m., but it's now 7 p.m. on Fridays. It's live. So what you see is what you get on there. We'll edit it later on YouTube for all the people that can't watch live. That's totally understandable. A lot of people are not outside doing not a lot of things right now in this world. So check us out. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe on YouTube. Remember to follow us on Twitch, FPS Guides on Twitch. Remember that.
And if you are just looking for people to play a game with, we do play with the people that are subscribed and everything. So please hop in and just, if you want to check out a game with someone who knows how, or maybe you just want to find someone good to play with, hit us up.
Yep, we're on Discord all the time, and Discord link will be in the description of this video on YouTube. So check that out. And once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right, see you next time.
See ya.